Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got quite a few things to go over. News has basically been confirmed for next week. We also have some other bits and bobs to go over regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. Also some Legends EA rumors. There's a lot of things to break down and get into today. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, we have this to go over. This was tweeted out by Pokémon Center saying new information and a live demo for Pokémon TCG Pocket will be revealed next week during the Pokémon World Championships 2024. Now, of course, the live demo we knew about, that was posted like a week ago, posted on Cerebi, posted on the official pages. We know that if you are going to Worlds this year, you will get to play Pokémon Pocket. That is confirmed. What we didn't know is that apparently there's going to be new information that's also going to be revealed during Worlds, which makes sense, obviously, but at the same time, when is that news going to get revealed? Is it going to be during the opening ceremony before the demo is available to be played, or are people going to be able to play the demo, and then after that, during the closing ceremony, are they then going to drop like a new Pokemon Pocket TCG trailer, probably the release date, stuff like that. Again, it all depends on if we're getting Legends EA news during Pokemon Worlds, because if we're not, then the focus is obviously going to be on this TCG Pocket game, and so that will take up the majority of the kind of like special kind of announcements. Again, at this point of recording, we don't know. We don't know if we are going to get Legends EA stuff. We're hopeful. They might reveal the starters. They might reveal a new Mega Evolution. It's hard to say. But the fact that there is going to be a live demo of Pokemon TCG Pocket, you can kind of guess that it's going to be accompanied by some news as well. We'll probably get the release date. Again, it depends if we get a Pokemon Presents as well. If we don't get a Presents, then yeah, they're probably going to drop quite a bit of stuff during the closing ceremony. But yeah, I don't know where they got this from, you know, this new information. I think this account is kind of leaked to Centro. I don't know if it's why it's called Pokemon Centro, not Centro Leaks. I don't really know. I think this is kind of like their official news page. But yeah, I don't know where they've got this from because it's not been confirmed anywhere. I don't think that there's new information for the live demo, but it just kind of makes sense that we are going to get some with the live demo. But either way, that's that. Think of it what you will, but it does look like we're going to be getting some sort of TCG Pocket news during Worlds next weekend. We also have Riddler-Ku kind of talking about this as well, saying, what if the World Championships only talk about the Pokemon TCG Pocket app? Would you go riot? So this was actually posted on the 25th of July, so a couple of weeks ago now, and he basically was saying, you know, what would your reaction be if the World Championships only spoken about the card game app, which now seems like a bit more of a possibility. You know, we didn't get presents this week. It's looking like we probably won't get presents next week, because I don't think they'll drop a presents and more information at Worlds during the same week. Like, how are they going to go on like a 6-month break of like no information from February to August and then just drop like 2 big bits of information in 1 week? It just doesn't really make sense. So yeah, it looks like, you know, if we don't get any Legends EA stuff, yeah, it is literally just going to be the World Championships talking about the card game app. We've got replying to a couple of other people as well, saying no, Pokemon has to cover everything. They have make it aware. Seems that fans turn rational. And then honestly, can't wait. I won't spend any money on it, but I heard of the daily packs. This is enough for me. Yeah, going to be light game if you just unpack 2 packs daily. So yeah, we'll obviously see what it's like. I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope it's good. I think, again, I think it's going to be a simplified version of the Pokemon TCG game. And I like the fact you're getting like daily packs and stuff. It is still going to be pay to win, but at the same time, at least you are getting daily packs for free and stuff like that. But either way, that's that I wanted to go over. So that's kind of like I guess, the news that we're going to be getting next week. Moving on, I want to go over this. This was posted by Stealth. Pretty interesting. We've got the Pokemon Company had $10.8 billion in retail sales in 2023, so that's a lot of money. Nintendo's net sales for the last fiscal year was $11 billion. It took Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Pikmin 4, Super Mario RPG Remake, and more to equal Pokemon Company's sales. That's how big Pokemon is. You know, they have to release all of these things just to kind of equal what Pokemon's making. Pokemon Company is on pace to sell well over 100 million units of software on the Switch alone. At the same time, there is really no excuse for Pokemon games to be as much of a technical mess as Scarlet and Violet were. It's definitely a concern as we move to Nintendo's next system. And it makes sense. Like, I'm not going to sit here and defend Pokemon. The game should be a lot better. Is that because they don't have enough development time? Is that because they are just getting lazy? It's hard to really say, because they do develop these games for like 3 or 4 years before they actually release it. And at least that's what they're doing with Legends EA. It's what they're going to be doing with Generation 10. I understand that Scarlet and Violet probably were hit a little bit by the pandemic, so maybe that's why they just aren't really up to scratch. Because if you think back to like Sword and Shield, like the games, they ran fine. They didn't look the greatest, but they ran, you know, as they should have done. It's Scarlet and Violet that's really been like a bit of a glitchy mess. But then when you think back to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, you can't really say a bad thing about how the games ran, how the games looked. Obviously, there was not a lot of content in those games, but in terms of graphics and the glitch, like there was no glitches already. That was, and still to this day, I think the best looking Pokemon game we've ever had. So that is what they can do. And again, I would love them to make like a Let's Go style for like Generation 10. Obviously not in the same type of like gameplay and stuff, but the sort of graphics, I think they look really, really nice for Generation 10. But yeah, there's no excuse. You know, they should be making a lot better, especially when they're making this much money. And this is just off Switch sales as well. Like, they're not talking about Pokemon Go and stuff, obviously in terms of the Switch. So yeah, there's not really any excuse. And also wanted to go over this, talking about the Switch 2 as well. We have My Nintendo News here tweeting out saying, analyst claims third-party devs working on big launch titles for the Nintendo Switch successor. So gaming and stock market analyst Paul Gale stated in an X post recently that major third-party developers and studios are prepping big launch window titles for the Switch successor to make up for missing the Nintendo Switch's legacy release back in 2017, claiming that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have some early significant ports, parallel releases, and exclusives. So not only are Nintendo going to be dropping some big games for this console, it looks like third-party companies are going to be developing some big games for it as well. So a lot of people have got a lot of faith in the Nintendo Switch 2, which they should have. You know, at the point of recording, it's the second best-selling console of all time, just behind the PS2, and it's still selling well. And it's been out for, what, 7-8 years? Why wouldn't you kind of push for something to be made for the next console? If true, it would explain why many major releases over the past year have skipped the Switch, not just for the boost in hardware that will come with its successor, but also to coincide with the next iteration's launch. In the comments, Gale pointed out the 2022 and 2023 Game of the Year award recipients of Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3 as possible launch titles for the second Switch, which is kind of mad to think about. You know, Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring being on the Switch, you wouldn't really expect it, but with the Switch 2, it is possible. Other heavy hitters from recent memory, like Atlas Persona 3 Reload or Capcom's Resident Evil 4 remake, might be part of the lineup as well. Whatever the case, so long as there is a strong show of third-party support for Nintendo's next console, no one will be able to say that the Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't have games. So, looking more and more exciting for the next console. Again, it could get released, announced at any point from now until March. We know it's going to get announced before March, which is obviously the next fiscal year. It's just when. You know, a lot of people are thinking maybe this year still. I think it could be this year. I think it might be like October time, maybe. And will obviously Legends EA come out for it at the same time as it comes out for the Switch? We'll also have to wait and see for that. So that's the Switch 2 stuff, the Pokemon World stuff. Moving on, we do have a rumor to go over for Pokemon Legends ZA. This is titled League of Legends, posted by League of Legends. And it was posted on the 23rd of July, so a couple of weeks ago now. And again, posted on 4chan, so as always, take it with a massive grain of salt. Usually fake, but we'll have to see what they have to say. So there's Modern Day is the sequel to X and Y. So, you know, we don't get many rumors that talk about it actually being in the kind of future, or at least a little bit in the future. Most of these rumors and most of the people believe that it is going to be set in the past, which, again, it is probably going to be, but I wouldn't mind it being able to be set in the, you know, a little bit after X and Y as well, like a little bit of a sequel. But the fact that you just use the word Legends, it just doesn't really sound like something for a futuristic game. But either way, Quasar Co. is headed by a board that feels Kalos' rampant urbanization is an issue and want to transform Kalos into the world's first example of an eco-city. So Pokédex is roughly equal to Kalos' in size. Well, I mean, Kalos had, I think, the biggest regional decks, right? I didn't have a lot of new Pokemon, but it had one of the biggest, if not the biggest, regional decks that we've ever had. But with a lot of Pokemon swapped out, all Pokemon with Megas are in, with the Hoenn Legends making up the post-game. So again, there's still Pokemon like Mewtwo and Aerodactyl, which we'll have to see how they make the cut, because, well, I mean, Aerodactyl obviously makes more sense, and again, Mewtwo would as well. If it's in like a more of a futuristic game, or even modern day, then yeah, they'd obviously be able to fit into the game. If it's set in the past, then it's unlikely that Mewtwo and Aerodactyl will be in the game. The Mega Stones are unlocked through defeating Radiant Pokemon, this game's alphas. There's non-Mega Radiants, which have a rainbow aura and reward other items, but there are set Mega Radiants that receive help from an ally. So there's non-Mega Radiants and there's set Mega Radiants that you can defeat, and they both give like different kinds of things, which is pretty cool. It then goes on to say, new Megas, Pokemon, and forms explained as consequences of the second firing of the ultimate weapon. So the ultimate weapon gets fired again, which is, you know, I don't know how that would be allowed in present day Kalos, but apparently that fires off and we get new Mega Pokemon and new forms because of it. It then goes on to say the weapon ties back to Terapagos, implied that Mega Evolution was created by a desperate wish to become stronger, and it was a construct of resonance with the crystals used to build the weapon. I don't think they really will have any kind of linking with Terapagos. If anything, it'd be linked with Diancie. Yeah, Terapagos is its own thing, it's its own game, it's its own gimmick. We don't need that to be linked with Mega Evolution. The ultimate weapon was initially fired at Paldea to remove them from aiding Galar to an ancient war. And there's two new legendary Pokemon, so Gleaming Arc and Iron Saber. No other Paradox Pokemon appear, but hinted that the appearance of Pokemon's Megas were influenced by tales of Paradox Pokemon. I don't really know how an appearance of a Pokemon Mega can be influenced by tales of Paradox Pokemon. Like, how can a tail influence a Pokemon's kind of design? You know, it would just be that surely the Pokemon design would influence the tails, not the other way around. But either way, apparently there's two new Paradox Pokemon coming, or legendaries, I don't really know. The starters are a choice of Chespin, Fennekin, Froakie, and Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. So I'm assuming it's the same situation with Pokemon X and Y, where we choose our starter with Generation 6, and then obviously as we progress through the game, we get to choose another starter as well, which could be Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle. If this was the case, I would heavily expect Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie to get Mega Evolutions. And again, even if this is false, if we do get the Generation 6 starters as the start Pokemon, yeah, I'd heavily expect them to get Mega Evolutions. I don't think they'd get new forms, because obviously it's the region that they're native to, so it makes no sense for them to get forms. But Mega Evolutions, definitely, I think that's on the cards. It then also goes on to say Venusaur X and Blastoise X, along with Mega Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja. So there would be 5 new Mega Evolutions. So no new Mega Evolutions for Charizard, but Venusaur and Blastoise would get a second. And then, yeah, Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja would also get Mega Evolutions, which, again, I don't really want Venusaur and Blastoise to get another one. I don't think it's needed. I'd rather give those 2 Mega Evolutions to 2 Pokemon that don't have any. But yeah, Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja, I do really hope happen. There's lots of double battles. Wow, double battles are possible. I don't really know how that would work, because obviously I'm assuming there wouldn't be random encounters in this game. Obviously there are kind of 2-on-1s and stuff, and 3-on-1s that you can get during Pokemon Legends Arceus, so maybe they're talking about that. But because there's no random encounters, like, how would it be a double battle? Unless you can just send out multiple Pokemon at once instead of just the one this time, I don't really know. Abilities are in, held items are not. Yeah, I mean, I can see them introducing like more things, but at the same time, I don't really want them to go too far away from the Legends Arceus formula or the Legends game formula, and maybe adding abilities in would do that, so maybe that's not the best idea. Zygarde gets no new forms beyond usable core, but perma-complete with new ability if Mega'd. So it would be a, yeah, so it'd be a Mega Zygarde, I assume. It says if it's Mega'd, so yeah, I assume that's that. And then also you can use the core as well. Don't really know how good it's going to be in battle. Maybe it's going to be like a wishy-washy situation, but either way, we also have Mega Xerneas and Mega Yveltal. Whether they are called Mega Evolutions or they're called something different, like the Primal forms or the Origin forms, is obviously yet to be seen. But I think that, yeah, Xerneas and Yveltal definitely are the big candidates to get some sort of new form, because, you know, we had them in the other games in terms of Dialga and Palkia getting forms, and then obviously we had Primal forms of Kyogre and Groudon. 5 regional form lines, 1 lookalike line, so that's obviously like the Convergent line, like we got with Wiglet and Diglett. And then 5 regional forms. There's 7 cross-gen evolutions as well. And there's also 30 new Mega Evolutions stockpiled from scrapped ideas. So that would be 37, 42, 43 new kind of forms or Pokemon, which is a lot for a Legends game. You know, in Legends Arceus, we didn't get a ton. We got some cross-gen evolutions, we got some new forms, but that was it. You know, adding 30 new Mega Evolutions as well as all of these new Pokemon, I think might be a little bit OTT, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. We haven't had a new Mega Evolution in a while, so maybe that's why they'd add so many. Opposite to Zygarde is a new rodent-like mythical. It was the cause of war and seeks total human annihilation. It'd be kind of funny if it was like a small rodent-like mythical that just started this whole war and just wants to destroy every human. I'd just be like, I don't know, when you think of something like that, you'd expect like a massive Pokemon to be doing that, like Arceus, not some like small little rodent thing, but either way. Progression is Pokedex for assessing the progress of the ecosystem, frenzied Mega Pokemon, and tournaments that give you clout to spread Quasar's image. So I'm assuming we work for them maybe. And then Kalos characters appear with slight redesigns, which again, if it's just a sequel to X and Y, it's set a little bit, I guess, in the future, maybe like 2 or 3 years, then yeah, the same characters would be around. They would just probably change their design a little bit as they get older. The leader of Quasar is a handsome blonde man who wants to create a space where humans and Pokemon thrive side by side. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not really backing this too much. Again, I don't think it's going to be set in the future. I'd like it if we could go to the future and the past. I just don't think it's going to be set as a modern day kind of game. I don't think we're going to get over 40 new Pokemon and forms, Mega Evolutions and stuff. I just don't think that's going to be the case. 2 new legendaries with paradoxes. I don't think it's going to be linked to Terrapagos either. I think a lot of this just has some kind of loopholes and stuff like that, so I don't believe it for a second. Let me know your thoughts on this rumor though. Do you think it is true or not? Would you like it to be true? And let me know your thoughts on the Switch 2. What would you like to see added to the Switch 2 kind of roster when it gets released or announced? And also, what are your thoughts on the Pokemon Pocket TCG news next weekend as well? But either way, that's everything from me. If you enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.